What's going on, everyone? So Kyrie Irving was traded to the Dallas Mavericks. It was made official yesterday, and however it works out with Dallas, it'll definitely be very interesting, right? Will Luka and Kyrie Irving, will they be able to make it work? Is Kyrie going to want to stay in Dallas, or is he basically just like a 3-4 month rental and then he's out? You're already hearing people like Brian Windhorst bring up like, hey, like he's probably still going to the Lakers in the offseason. Dallas kind of looks like they did this for a salary dump, whatever. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are on Kyrie to Dallas, we'll see. We'll see how that experiment goes. But nonetheless, with Kyrie leaving the Brooklyn Nets, it begs the question of, well, what about Kevin Durant? Is Kevin Durant going to leave? Is he going to request a trade? The trade deadline's right around the corner. And now, as soon as the Kyrie thing happened, I was like, Kevin Durant's not going to leave before the trade deadline. They're going to keep him at least the rest of this season. They're going to see how it looks with what they got. Maybe try to make a move or two before the trade deadline. But they're going to keep Kevin Durant before or after the February 9th trade deadline. Now, this offseason could be very interesting. But it looks like we got reports per Adrian Wojnarowski basically reiterating that the Kevin Durant trade is not happening at the trade deadline. So ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported Tuesday that the front office and Kevin Durant are having ongoing conversations on the direction of the franchise after the Nets traded Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks on Monday. Notably, Brooklyn has told other teams it has no plans to trade Durant before Thursday's deadline, per Wojnarowski. So again, to kind of reiterate that, Kevin Durant, he's having these conversations with the Brooklyn Nets. I don't see him sticking around after the offseason. I think he rides out the season. He says, okay, we'll do it. He's still working his way back. I think he looks at it as like, okay, I'm going to ride the season out and then I'll request my trade in the offseason, right? Unless something crazy happens, like if they go to like the Western Conference Finals or like the NBA Finals, maybe he goes, okay, like I'll give you an opportunity to try to go get me some more help in the offseason. If you fail, then I'm gone. Maybe he does that, period, right? But if they're like a first round exit and Kevin Durant's doing everything himself and it's just, they just get ran through again like they did against the Boston Celtics last year, I think Kevin Durant's done. There were reports that Kevin Durant was mad and upset that Kyrie demanded a trade. Is he really surprised? Is that something that he's really shocked about? And not just that, you requested a trade this offseason. Granted, maybe him and Kyrie had some, conversation that was like, hey, we'll ride it out together this year and we'll figure it out next. And maybe now Kevin Durant's like, dude, I thought you were going to ride it with me this year. Maybe. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm sure he was a little upset, but I'm sure Kyrie was upset when Kevin Durant, demanded a trade. But regardless, I don't see Kevin Durant as a long-term net. Question is, do the Nets actually cave and trade Kevin Durant in the offseason? Right? They were very reluctant to do that this past offseason, but I think they need to. Just be done. Move off of all this. I know you have Kevin Durant. I know he's a generational talent. I know it's something that, it would suck to lose, but nobody's going to knock you. And all Joe Tsai has done is essentially ensured that no superstar is going to want to go to the Brooklyn Nets again. What superstar would want to? You're looking at this Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving situation. You're saying it was an absolute disaster. Yes, maybe part of it was Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving's mess, but James Harden got there and was like, yeah, this organization is dysfunctional, and bolted. Right? Kevin Durant demanded a trade in the offseason, and instead of you trading him, you basically handcuffed him to the franchise and said you're not moving him. And so if I go there, I'm stuck. You're not going to trade me if I want to get traded and I want to be out. You'll throw me under the bus as soon as something major happens, which we saw you do on several occasions. Why would any star want to go to the Brooklyn Nets at this point? I don't see it, at least in the foreseeable future. Maybe, several years from now when this kind of a forgotten thought, but at least the next couple seasons, I don't see any star being like, man, I want you to trade me to the Brooklyn Nets. Or man, I'm a free agent next year. I would love to go to the Brooklyn Nets. I just don't see that. And so when it comes to Kevin Durant, just trade him. Just be done. I said this as soon as Kyrie Irving made the trade request. I was like, you need to just send Kyrie immediately and go trade Kevin Durant and focus on all your attention on Kevin Durant getting traded. Because I think right now, they would probably get more for Kevin Durant than they would have this past offseason and this upcoming offseason. Because the West is so wide open right now. There are probably a dozen teams that are probably looking at this and going, man, we're the 11th seed or we're the 10th seed, but we're like 2 games out of third. Kevin Durant would definitely make us a top, 4 or 5 team. And we're probably the best team in the West, right? Like, do the Warriors say, man, we could really use Kevin Durant? Steph Curry is going to be out for a while. Let's just bite the bullet. Let's get KD back. I mean, you can make an argument the Warriors could give you the best rebuilding package there is. And so, I mean, you could go get that. Would the Memphis Grizzlies, who are struggling against Western Conference teams, would they give you like Triple J, Brooks and a couple picks, right? Like now you got a nice like building block, right? Would you be able to get Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics? Would you be able to get Bridges and Ayton from the Suns, right? Like what? Like I guarantee you, teams would be lining up to just give you whatever you want for Kevin Durant. At the end of the day, look, no one blames Brooklyn for making this move, right? Every team in the league would have taken Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Every team in the league would have traded for James Harden if they had the chance. But to say that this wasn't an absolute disaster and train wreck would be an understatement. Hiring Steve Nash as the head coach, basically catering and giving everything you want to Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. When things start going bad, you're throwing them under the bus. Kevin Durant wants out, and, you basically it was just a constant circus. And that was the problem. And they have one playoff series win as a franchise with these guys. That is atrocious. That is terrible. But again, no one blames Brooklyn for going and getting these guys. Every team in the league would have went and got these 2 guys. Every team. But it's just how this was handled, the way they went about it. It's almost like they figured, oh, we got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Like, we don't need a real coach. We don't need this. We don't need that. We're good. Now, this is just became an absolute disaster, an absolute mess. But hey, you got rid of Kyrie. You got, Finney Smith, got Spencer Dinwiddie. Okay, you got some nice little pieces. Trade Kevin Durant in the offseason. Don't wait for Kevin Durant to demand a trade because that's just going to make you look bad again. Tell Kevin Durant, hey, we'll ride out the rest of the season. Let's see how it goes. Give us, couple weeks or something into the offseason. See what's available. Let's see if we can maybe we can get you another star. Maybe we get you, a couple really good solid pieces that you like and that maybe you feel like, okay, I can win with these guys. Give us a little opportunity. And if in the first month of the offseason we can't get anything, we'll start looking for trades for you. Don't come out publicly and demand a trade. Don't do anything like that because it's just going to make us look bad and it's just going to make things worse. So bear with us. Ride the season out. In the offseason, we'll try to find some other pieces, try to make some upgrades, try to, maybe if we can get you another star, we'll get you another star, whatever it takes. And if we can't, then we'll look for what's the best trade available? What's the best package available? And we'll just ship you out. We'll take the best package, best trade, and then we're done. Right? And like I said, maybe you can get a Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. Maybe you could get, a Bridges and Ayton, especially if the Suns underperform again. Right? You could, I think Kevin Durant is very likely gone. I think he rides this season out. I think after this season, that's it for Kevin Durant. Unless Brooklyn pulls off some, great trade. Where, say they get Bradley Beal, right? Kevin Durant's like, oh, Bradley Beal's my friend, sure. Let's do, I'll write it out with Bradley Beal. Let's do this. Me and him together. I'm just throwing somebody out there, type thing. I just think Kevin Durant's going to look at this and go, it's now I couldn't win with me and Kyrie. Now it's me and Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm not going to be able to win with this. And that was the whole reason Kevin Durant wanted a trade in the offseason. He thought the organization wasn't doing everything in their power to win and that he felt like he couldn't win here. He said that. He said he didn't feel, the reason he wanted to be traded is he didn't feel like that he could win a championship here, and his years are only getting longer and his time in the NBA is coming to an end, right? Like, and what did they do? They traded Kyrie for Spencer Dinwiddie and Finney Smith. Which Finney's, don't get me wrong, they're fine players, they're great players, but this isn't a move that you go, oh man, yeah, dude, the Nets are as good if not better, right? Like Kyrie Irving, when the Nets had Kyrie and KD together, they were really good. Now maybe, who knows? Maybe Finney Smith, maybe he helps defend. I mean, they have potential to be very good defensively. You could have Durant, Finney Smith, Ben Simmons, and Nick Claxton. You got good size, good length with like maybe Seth. I mean, that's pretty good, right? Or have a Spencer Dinwiddie, whatever, however you want to do it. Have like Ben Simmons, Dinwiddie, Durant, Finney Smith, and Claxton. You got switchability, you got size, you got length, you got defense. Like, so Brooklyn, I don't think Brooklyn's going to be a bad team. I still think they're going to be very good, but a lot of that is because you have Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant's just that good. I mean, Kevin Durant's the equivalent of 2 stars almost, but I think the time has come. Move off Kevin Durant, be done. And, cut your losses. You're going to get a nice return for him and then be done. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you feel? However you feel, let me know down in the comments below.